Welcome to TatjanaOdinsDesigns, Everyday Mom. Today we're going to make a little Easter chick. So if you want to know what came first, the chicken or the egg, we're making the little chicken today. The egg will come later. Science has actually proven that it takes a chicken to make an egg. There's a special protein in egg shells, I believe, that can only be created by a chicken. So there we go. The chicken's coming first. So find a little stone, roundish, as round as you can get, I guess. It doesn't have to be perfect because the wool will kind of fill in any little gaps there are. So you take some wool roving. I'm just making your basic little yellow chick. You can make them any color you like. That'd be fun to have different colored eggs and different colored chickens. I also like to make these outside because then the mess is very easy to deal with. So kind of wrap your stone with your wool roving. It's going to be really loose, really puffy. Get it wet. I like to set it in there for a moment. I like to use liquid soap. So I've got the clear hand soap from Walmart. Just about a dime-ish sized amount. Take your little wet lump of wool and start gently patting. This takes probably 20 minutes to half an hour. It is going to be real wet and really loose. Okay, real loose. So I just like to toss it back and forth. The whole point of felting wool roving is, of course, to get the fibers agitated together, and they will tighten up and make a really nice, very sturdy cloth. That's the felted wool. I know, there's flies out here. It's Arizona fly season. Yeah. They will not go away. So it'll be real loose. It'll get soapy. The soap helps to agitate the wool. It also helps to kind of let it slide against your hands. Agitates it on the inside, slides it on the outside. I have tried felting wool without soap, and all the little fibers on the outside get real frizzy and start sticking out. So whether it's hand soap in a bar or hand soap that's liquid, it really doesn't matter. Either one will work just fine. So this will take quite some time. 20 minutes, half an hour maybe. So I toss the little ball around pretty gently. The weight of the rock inside, which is why I like to use a rock and not, well, I guess you could use a marble. It would probably be just as heavy, but nothing lighter than that. It's because then the weight of the rock on the inside helps when you're tossing it back and forth to kind of agitate it from the inside out. So we're getting it from both directions, outside and inside. You can kind of reshape it a little bit if it's looking too loose, and keep going. This was my very first introduction to wet felting, actually, was the chicken and the egg. It was when I was a kindergarten assistant many years ago, and the teacher said, "We're going to felt eggs for Easter." And I said, "We're going to what?" And so she said, "Well, wrap this plastic egg in a bunch of wool and pat it until it's done." And I had never done this before. So after about a week of intermittently patting, I finally had somewhat of an egg. A little bit of practice definitely makes it easier. So after then felting all of the children's wool eggs, because they didn't have a whole lot of patience, it got a little easier. Now this is fine for, kindergarten ages and up to do. They can hold it and pat. It takes a lot longer. But you can leave your egg for the day and you can come back to it the next day. And you can just keep on going and keep on felting. It does not have to be done in one fell swoop. So say someone falls down, gets a bonk, needs your attention, set your egg aside, go help them out. Come back to it later. Just get it wet again. You might need to add a little bit more soap. So it's gotten just a slight bit tighter. You can see it's not quite as loose and floppy as it was. So once it gets that slight bit tighter, I can start tossing it a little harder. Oh, those flies. Just tossing a little harder. Something stuck to it. There we go. Okay, so see that's firming up just a little bit more. I'm going to pause this video for a moment and I'm going to work on it a bit so you don't have to sit here through all of the patting. You'll do this until it's firm enough to really roll around in your hands, and I'll come back to it at that point. Okay, so we're back. I've spent maybe 5 minutes tossing this little chick back and forth. You can see it's still kind of squishy, but not nearly as baggy as it was. It has firmed up a lot. So at this point, I will usually get him wet. You haven't washed all the soap out. You've just gotten him wet enough, and then begin to roll. Don't press too hard at first because he still is a little baggy, just a little. But this will tighten that little chick up a lot faster than tossing it. You just want to toss it gently when you first wrap the ball. And now you can roll it. And the rolling will agitate it a lot faster. If you find that you need more soap, if you don't see soap on the outside and you see the fuzzies kind of starting to separate from the rest of the chick, feel free to add a little bit more. You always can. This Walmart soap tends to stick around for quite a while. I actually have to rinse out the little chicks and the eggs at the end when I'm done felting. I go rinse them out and squeeze them. So I'm going to roll this for a little, and I'll come back and show you what it's like in a few minutes. Okay, so after a few minutes of rubbing, I was rubbing pretty hard. I was doing like so, going pretty fast, going pretty hard. Hands are all soapy. Let's see what the little egg looks like without so much soap on it. It's firmed up a lot. You can see how that wool has tightened. That's a good way to test it. Just poke it a little. And it shouldn't give too much by the time we're done. So it still needs a little bit more rubbing. I like to go one way and then go the other way and kind of move it around in my hand so it moves all over and it gets all surfaces of it. I'll be back after a little bit more. Okay, we are at the end here. When you're at the end, you can really roll it hard. I'm pushing on this. Just make sure that it rolls around, that you're not rubbing your hands over it, but that the whole little chicken and rock all together is just rolling in your hands. So, rolling hard, rolling fast. Let's see how he looks. Really pretty firm. You can feel it. It's nice and tight. It's not at all floppy or loose. It may give a little. You're not going to get it so firm that you don't get any give to it at all. Obviously it's felt, so it's going to be just kind of like wool, like a wool sweater. It's going to have a little give to it because it is wool. But this is nice and tightly felted. It looks just a little bit larger than the original rock size that I chose. It's going to be a few millimeters thick on the inside. And so this is how you make a little chick. This is the felting part. So you can either just set it to dry, you can rinse it out. Kind of rinse, gently squeeze him. Gently squeeze. Another gentle squeeze. We'll pat to shape. And then I will set this little guy up in a place to dry. Let them dry for about 24 hours. And then they'll be all nice and dry, and then I will show you after that in the next video, the next step to make this look like a chicken. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.